We're talking right now with Rebecca Risk from Robert Half. How are you, Rebecca?
I'm good, thank you.
Thanks for joining us. You know, so many people are everybody's trying the best they can to get through this, and workers are having burnout. Talk to us about why so many workers are experiencing this burnout.
Sure. I mean, I think a lot of the reasons are obvious. A lot of companies had to make decisions to cut staff. And a lot of companies are working with reduced staff or reduced resources and things like that. That's a huge factor in the whole burnout issue. But I think also, you layer in issues at home, school, dealing with homeschool or changing home dynamics or having to work from home all of a sudden. And that just, piles on. So I think it's just the logical reasons for sure.
And what's the career impact for a lot of these folks who are having this burnout? I mean, what do? I mean, they really don't have much of a choice.
Yes, agreed. I think unfortunately worker burnout tends to manifest itself into some negative traits. You tend to start being absent or producing a poor work quality or, have lack of focus, things like that. And those things are not looked upon kindly. So it's kind of like one thing perpetuates the other, and it ends up, having people feel, that they're not in a good situation, they're overwhelmed, and maybe it starts to make them feel like they're unhappy in their work life.
But work has to get done, and there are managers who have to get the job done. They have to manage the staff. Life has to continue on the best it can. And how are managers able to maybe motivate their workforce to do the job that has to get done?
I think a lot of it starts with communication, communicating with the people that are around you, looking out for red flags. If you're starting to see somebody who is displaying some of these tendencies, they're missing deadlines, they're absent a lot, they're, just not producing the quality of work that they should be. And especially if that's a drastic change from the past, having conversations about it and not only trying to just have the conversation, but also figure, okay, well, this is the problem. What can we do to fix it? And then trying to figure out a solution if it's possible.
Yep. For a lot of these businesses, I don't think a lot of these places even know how to, they're doing the best they can, let's put it that way, to handle their employers who are going through changes. They don't know where to turn. How do we kind of work together to get through this?
I think that's it. We work together. The managers are just as tightly strapped as every employee on their team, and they may be feeling the same thing. So I think, again, it's the communication piece that's important. And then, it's looking at the overall financial situation of an organization and, potentially at what point in time can you look at, bringing in additional resources? When is it time to, make another hire or bring in a temporary or reallocate some of the workload to other people that might have more bandwidth? So it's just making smart decisions.
Have you heard of companies saying, look, I understand you're under a lot of stress. I get, all of the issues that you're having. Maybe you need to take some time off, come back in a couple of weeks and maybe we can start off fresh. Is that a way to handle this?
Yes, I think that, that one of the main things that we can do is to encourage people to take time away, and time away, even if it's a day, sometimes, unplugging for a day can really make a huge change. And I think from a manager's perspective, yes, you can encourage it, but the way to really implement that change and to make people feel comfortable to take advantage is to do so yourself. So, you need to lead by example and take that time and encourage your people to take the time when it's needed.
All right, Rebecca, thanks so much for your time. It's always great to see you. And if you would like more information on this, you can head on over to our website. That is roadshow.com.